Hello there, welcome to this introduction to HALO Auto Tech. We're going to start by logging in. First thing you'll see upon logging in will be your customized dashboard. Colors are customizable, and the customers that you have entered on the screen and the vehicles and so on will be your own. There are two large shortcuts to quickly add a new vehicle or a new customer, and you can see that the menu items are Home, Vehicle, Customer Estimate, Work Order Appointment, Invoice, Report, Support, and Settings. This reflects the order of operations in which you will work with a new customer. First by logging either the vehicle or the individual, then preparing an estimate, then converting that estimate into a work order, scheduling it for an appointment, and issuing an invoice. Later reporting on all of your invoices. All of these steps can happen sequentially in just a matter of minutes. We have 4 customers currently in the system. We can see their contact information and also which vehicles are associated to each customer. We can see any estimates we have available for a customer. We can see which work orders are in progress, and we can see which invoices exist. If I click on a customer name, in this case Doug Dinger, I can see Doug's location and contact information. I can see vehicles associated to this person. The vehicles are added by scanning the VIN number or entering a VIN number, which is optional. If you don't have a VIN number handy to scan, you can manually enter. You can add any additional contacts to the individual, such as a family member or coworker, and you can see a table at the bottom of estimates, invoices, and so on. To edit any item, it's as simple as pressing the edit icon. And in this case, let's put in a cell phone number. On save, the contact is now updated. It's similarly as easy with a vehicle. Now go on to this vehicle screen, and let's update the mileage. Let's also put in a license plate. I can choose the type of vehicle, which will change the type of estimate diagram used when I prepare an estimate. I can also upload pictures of the vehicle, which can also work directly with a mobile device's camera. I'll save this vehicle. And as you can see, after saving the vehicle, I can also see which customers are associated to this vehicle. So for instance, if you see a vehicle owned by one customer and over some time that vehicle is sold to another customer and they refer the new owner back to your shop, you'll be able to pick up where you left off with that existing vehicle. In this case, I have a vehicle and a customer already selected, and I can continue directly to an estimate. But let's just jump back right from the start and get to the estimate screen as though it was a brand new customer walking in for the first time. I'll say this customer is Donna Dinger, no relation. That's all I need to put in for now. Any other information is optional. I'm going to assign a vehicle, and I'm going to quickly assign a secondary contact. So if Donna or Deb come in, I'm going to know that they're both authorized. In this case, it did ask me to prompt for a phone number, so I'm going to do that. I'm going to continue. I can search for a vehicle. In this case, maybe we know that we've already added their Lincoln. Or maybe we know that they've already added a Chevy. And it'll help me go through the list of vehicles I've added. Or, of course, I can add a new vehicle. And in this case, if I enter a VIN number and then make, model, and other information, the system will proceed smoothly. But let's get right to that estimate screen. Something very important about our estimate screen is it saves in real time, so you don't have to worry about pressing save and editing any data. Periodically throughout working with the estimate, you'll see an indicator in the top left of the screen letting you know that the estimate is auto-saving. We have our customer and we have our vehicle. We've selected our price matrix. We've got a date for the job. I'm going to say it's in draft mode for now. this point, I can begin my inspection. This is optimized for touchscreen devices, but works extremely well on a desktop or phone. You may choose to use a tablet for the most part. We can add any additional options if we want to. We can manually override the estimate number. We can assign a different technician if we've set those up. We can choose our tax regime, so if we're moving between different provinces or states, and as you can see, the estimate's saving in real time. We can select the diagram we want to use, set insurance information, and review, if I'm editing an estimate that's previously been in progress, any other work orders, appointments, or invoices related to the estimate. Now going to go through into a HALO inspection. Got my truck diagram, and we're going to say that there are loonie size dents 1 to 5 on the hood panel. With a HALO matrix set up, you will be able to automatically calculate the cost of this panel damage. But we're going to put in an exact dent count in this case, and then say that it is going to be $125. Again, if a HALO matrix is set up, these costs will be automatic, and you can see the matrix cost input there indicating this. We can charge any modifiers and in real time take any pictures of the damage to the hood. We can walk through the panel, and we can say there are 6 to 15 nickel-sized dents, which we're going to quote at $150. You can see again the estimate saving in real time. We now have a total for the inspection. We're going to move on to the next screen, but we can go through any number of panels and add whatever damage is necessary. On the general dents and damage screen, we can create preset costs, such as a door ding, and any others from our library of costs. We have a reference cost, and then we can override that and set an actual cost. In this case, we've told the customer we'll do this work for $75. We can also add any manual miscellaneous damage costs. We're not going to do that this time, but it's as easy as filling in these boxes. On the additional cost screen, similarly to dents and damage, we can add any catalog costs, and the only difference here is that these will show up in a different section of the work order or invoice. We're not going to charge access fees this time, but let's say we're going to do some detailing for the customer. We're going to charge $50 for detailing, and that cost has been manually added. You can see how easy it is to add costs to your work order using HALO. Now let's review our estimate. We have light damage with nickel-sized dents on the roof and very light damage with loonie-sized dents on the hood. Again, these costs can be calculated from a matrix or manually entered. We've identified a door ding, which we're going to take care of, and we've let the client know we're going to do a detailing of the vehicle. After applying tax, this is the cost. If we're standing there with the customer with a tablet in hand, we can show them the cost right now. If you're with the customer, you can get an approval on the spot where they can sign off. Or you can email the customer for approval if they're not with you at that moment. The customer will receive an email containing a link asking them to add their signature and authorize the cost. If they've authorized the estimate, it can be converted into a work order. In this case, we are going to save and approve this estimate because the customer has signed off. Once the customer has signed off, we're immediately able to apply a work order from this estimate. So as you can see, HALO allows you to move smoothly from first interaction with the customer to a vehicle inspection to now having a work order. This work order can be moved through statuses such as work in progress, cancelled, or complete. It provides a readout of the estimate information, which can be edited if you need to go back. It creates information about the sales tax, primary contacts, and work order number. We can also now change or add additional costs or inspection costs. For instance, if the vehicle is extremely dirty, we can let the customer know it will be $75 for invoicing. Or If we have a phone conversation with a customer and we discover other damage they'd like us to fix, we can add these in. The difference between a work order and an estimate is that a work order can change as you discover the true work happening on the vehicle, and the estimate is for approval purposes. Invoices are generated based on the work order, not the estimate. We can save this estimate. We can also schedule this estimate for a particular date, at an exact time or for a period of hours, at any region of the day. We can also assign technicians from our library of technicians if we're not a solo shop. In this case, we've only got one technician added. We can also directly invoice the customer or add any notes to the work order. Let's save this work order. Just like that, this work order is in our list for Donna Dinger. Estimate 01801. The way the numbers work is the estimate number has a hyphen and then the number of work order sequence for that vehicle. If a vehicle has multiple work orders, these will increment accordingly. We don't have any invoices yet and the job has not been scheduled. We can, however, print the document, print key tags, change the work order, or remove the work order if it's cancelled. To set up another job, all we have to do is go back to the vehicle, the customer screen, or start directly from an estimate where we will select the customer and the vehicle. Let's take another look at this work order. Let's schedule the work order. For this date, in the afternoon. Requesting confirmation, we'll email the customer. We're not going to set an exact time, or rather we will set an exact time, and we'll add the appointment. Just like that, the appointment's now scheduled for March 10th between 2 and 3 p.m. I can edit the appointment, but I don't need to. And if I go into my appointments list, it will show up in the calendar with the customer, the vehicle, the status, the work order, and the time. And just like this, I can edit the appointment if something changes. If you have back office support, your administrator can quickly look to the calendar and move appointments around based on demand. You can also synchronize this calendar with your mobile device or view the calendar by month or by week view. When it's time to invoice for that work order, we go back to our work order and we can issue an invoice. We can also go directly to the invoices screen and add an invoice, at which point we'll have to pick from our open work orders. In this case, Donna Dinger. From our invoice screen, we can see all of the information from the work order. We can add any amounts that are already paid. We can collect payments. In this case, let's record in payment in full from the customer on a credit card. Paid by Visa. HALO doesn't actually help you collect payment online. You'll have your own payment collection methods, but you can record the payments here. Let's go ahead and save. With the payment recorded, we can now mark the invoice paid in full. We can sort lists by various columns. In this case, it might make sense to view our invoices from most recent to oldest. I can also print the invoice document, just like that. HALO provides reports such as accounts aging, accounts receivable, tech commissions, performance indicators, taxes, revenue, and accrual. We can also manually export any of the lists in the system. So if you do decide to use HALO in conjunction with any other products, you can simply export your data. Let's take a look at our revenue for completed work. This number will reflect the job we just completed. We can also look at the tax we have to pay out. And we can look at any upsells. If we have any questions or concerns for the team behind Halo, a support tab is built right in. And you can actually create a software ticket directly from within the system to ask for assistance. Settings screens allow you to manage multiple users. There is no limit on the users you can add within your business. You can also create lists of technicians on different commission rates, and you can generate reports on the commissions you're paying. You can manage regional tax. You can manage fine print, which shows up on your invoices and other documents. You can import data from external places, set notifications, or even set basic preferences, such as your company address, color scheme, and by the way, a website is generated for your company within Halo where you can market yourself. It's a small feature, but may be of use to some of you out there. Setting up a dent matrix has an intuitive visual interface where you can select the panel and the number of dents and the costs for each range. You can also create modifiers such as aluminum panel percentage costs or fixed costs, which can be applied to any panel on any vehicle. You can also manage other price lists. Incidental costs for dents, for example, may allow you, if you choose this input here, show panel, to specify which panel the damage is on, or to toggle the quantity. So some costs, such as detailing, may not be panel specific and may not have a quantity, whereas others may, for example, R&I or access costs. You can manage multiple price lists, which each correspond to the particular matrix you're using. As you can see, Halo is a highly sophisticated and highly customized solution for the paintless dent repair industry. We hope you've enjoyed this demonstration, and we hope you'll consider Halo for your PDR business.